Welcome, everyone. I just want to get on here and talk a little bit today about trust wounds and how they impact our relationships. So, having a trust wound is similar to having that feeling like the ball is always going to drop. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It's like that feeling that something bad is going to happen eventually, right? And this might look like us being suspicious of any kind of pattern changes in relationships. This might be hyper focusing on any change in someone's facial expression or tone of voice and things of that sort. So I am a former fearful avoidant attachment style, also known as disorganized or anxious avoidant attachment style. The betrayal core wound, aka trust core wound, is one of the biggest ones that impacts us throughout our lives. And I would say if you don't get a handle on it, it can really stunt the growth of your relationship over time. So I'm just going to share a story with you about something that happened in my relationship where I had a moment of epiphany and breakthrough and was able to realize like what was holding me back and how to kind of move through that. So I can remember, a day that me and my partner had came home from work and we were just talking about our day, and it was just one of those normal days, right? And I was just listening to what he had to say, and what happened is that he ended up telling me about going to lunch with a friend 2 days prior. Now, this was something that he didn't originally tell me back at that time. And I remember just these alarm bells going off in my mind, and I started feeling like anxious and doubtful. And I remember my stomach just turning circles and my heart beating fast. And in the moment I played it really cool. Like I was like, okay, I just listened to what he said. But then when I went inside, oh my goodness, like I was feeling so insecure. I was feeling so anxious. I was feeling like I was really betrayed. Like the thoughts that were going on in my head is, why didn't he tell me about this before? What is he hiding? Who did he go with? And as a result, I went throughout the rest of the next day or two kind of icing him out. I would avoid him and I kept myself busy. And I was acting as if, he really did betray me or he really did do something wrong, because in my head, I was living in that moment as if it was an absolute truth. And so I was pushing him far away, which ultimately caused me more anxiety, to have more doubt in my relationship, and to feel more disconnected. And actually, I wanted connection, right? I wanted to be close. I wanted to feel safe with him, but I was the one pushing him away and icing him out. And sometimes, we can push people away. That we love, because we're fearful, right? We're afraid, like, what if they hurt me? So let me push them away before I have I have to deal with this, or I have to feel any kind of pain. And if this is like you, I just want you to know that this was also me back in the day, several of times throughout my life. This was me always focusing on little changes, always being worried about things, but specifically in this situation, it just really outlines how like one little thing can cause us to kind of catastrophize the whole situation, go into panic mode, and shut down. And this is how the trust wound really manifests in our lives and has such a deep impact, right? Because if we're living in things as if it's our truth, and then we're pushing our partner away without even really knowing what's going on, ultimately we're sabotaging our connection. We're sabotaging our relationship with the person we love and the person that we actually want to grow with. So we're doing the opposite of what we're actually wanting to do in the long run. And so here's just two powerful lessons that I learned that I wanted to share with you. And number one is that our brain tends to remember things that have happened throughout the course of our lives and reproject them into the current moment. So if you've ever experienced, actual betrayals in your life, or perceived events that were betrayals, this could be a lot of inconsistencies or caregivers not showing up, or maybe you were in a relationship and your partner did betray you in the past or something like that. Like, this causes your brain to remember these things, like your brain stores these things, and it's on the lookout for anything similar that might happen so that it can keep you safe. So you might push people away, do all these things to kind of cope and keep yourself safe, right? So it's important to know that. And one thing that you can do is really ground yourself in the facts. Ask yourself, what am I making this mean? Because, whatever happened. So for me, it's like I was making it mean that my partner didn't tell me that he went to lunch with his friend 2 days ago. Because he didn't mention that to me right away, I was making that mean that he must have been doing something he wasn't supposed to, that he was with another woman, that he was doing something sneaky. That's the meaning that I gave it. Now, your meaning will be different based on your experience. The second question you can ask is, can I know this to be true? For me, the short answer is no. I don't know it's true because I didn't get clarity on who he went with or what was going on. I was too busy in my head at that point and I shut down completely. And number 3, it's like, ask yourself, what else could it be other than the meaning? Like, give yourself a little bit of groundedness by saying, oh, he could have went with a friend. Oh, he might have went with his mom. Oh, it could have been someone he's working with, right? Find 3 pieces of evidence to kind of ground yourself on what it could be other than that. Now, the next powerful lesson that I need to share with you that is extremely important is the power of being able to ask for clarity. Now, I know so many a times, like, we can get into this mindset that I'm going to be bad if I need to ask for information. I'm going to be a burden. They're going to think I'm too much. They're going to think I'm crazy. And I'm just going to tell you this. That cannot be further from the truth. You are not a burden. You are not bad. You are not crazy for wanting clarity on any situation. You are allowed to ask for things, and you should ask for context, because the cost of you not doing that, not getting that certainty and clarity, is you icing your partner away, assuming worst case scenarios without actually knowing, investing in these stories, and these things are going to keep on popping up in your life like on autopilot, constantly just going in a circle, and you don't want that, right? So I want you to be able to humanize your experience and say, okay, I need to know a little bit more about this. I need to know a little bit more about why this happened or who it was with or whatever that might look like for you. And get that power to say, yes, I can go ask them. It's okay. Don't let these limiting beliefs kind of stand in your way. So I hope this was just a little bit helpful for you guys. And it's Friday the 13th today. So I hope everyone stays safe and has a wonderful weekend. God bless.